Hi everyone, I'm Yang. Welcome to Tea House, China Radio International's online video talk show. You can watch our program online at www.crienglish.com and also enjoy Tea
FY to root into a cutting edge trees and outreach think tank entrepreneur based role relation tech multi-department with all TR Asian cuts and Hong Kong and Malaysia graduate
in different Asia. Out of just that something else is so much more attractive, or is that it is so entrepreneurship has a negative image, or what is it? And I identified this in my research, and then I can't just say, okay, here's what is the barriers. I actually need to do something. So that's where then FYSE started, based on this knowledge and based on the experience of working on the issues.
Then how does FYSE help social entrepreneurs achieve social changes?
3 major areas. So one is we want to inspire more people to become social entrepreneurs. We focus specifically on young people as well as women. Coaches, anything they need to
FYSE is incubating and accelerating high-impact entrepreneurs. What are the advantages?
So advantages are huge. So for one is if you have encouraged more entrepreneurs in general, that leads to job creation. They're not only, especially high impact entrepreneurs, high potential entrepreneurs, they're not just creating jobs for themselves. They create jobs for potentially hundreds of other people. So that is a huge benefit. It provides people with employment, with an income. They demand more products and services because they have the purchasing power. A second one is innovation. So they're coming up with new products, new services. They solve environmental issues. So that's the biggest impact of social entrepreneurs. They solve issues. They're not just scratching the surface, but hopefully they're really contributing on a large scale. What are the barriers? A lot, especially also for women. Women often don't have positive role models. Other female social entrepreneurs who already are successful. When you think of social entrepreneurs, often you think about Professor Yunus. You think of often male role models coming to mind. There are very few people can name women as entrepreneurs. So that if you don't know anyone who's been there, done that, then it's difficult to see yourself there. The second one is women often lack networks. So a lot of formal clubs like chambers of commerce, etc., are men clubs. Often when you go there as a woman, everyone wears suit, everyone, is in black, and you come there and you think, oh my God, what am I doing here? So just bringing women together, female entrepreneurs, is something that breaks down barriers, that needs to be done. And then it's often about training. Passion alone only takes you so far. You need to have the skill set to actually turn your idea, the impact you want to create, into a viable business. So a lot of training is still missing. So there are not many training providers, capacity builders in China or in Asia. So that is still a barrier for many women.
What is the greatest challenge you have ever experienced since the start of FYSE?
When you look at your business and what you want to do with your business or organization, you always have role models, peers in your industry. And when I look at who are our peers, they're often based in the UK or in the US, great organizations who achieve really tremendous impact. And I think because the ecosystem here for entrepreneurs is so limited, also us, lack of funding, lack of support, you can only grow in very small steps. You cannot grow as fast as someone of your peers. So that is often frustrating. You want to do so much more. You're ambitious, you have the vision, you have the skill set, but you need other players to achieve that.
Well, thank you very much. It's tea time. Please enjoy a cup of Chinese tea, and then we will talk about business models of social enterprises.
The most important thing that joined our two countries are trade and economic ties.
We should move towards finding win-win solutions.
Build a bridge through drinking some real nice Chinese tea.
Oh, I could kill for a nice cup of tea.
Hi, Andrea. Welcome back to Tea House.
Thanks, Yang Yang.
Do you like the tea?
It was really good, thank you.
The main aim of social entrepreneurship is to further social and environmental goals. But this does not preclude making a profit. What are the possible business models for social enterprises?
It can be really diverse and really depends on what product and services you're offering. Give you an example. A lot of social entrepreneurs create market linkages. So they work with, for example, artisans in rural China who don't have access to the market, who don't know what the customer really wants, who can't sell their products because they're based in Yunnan, the customers maybe in Beijing. And the social entrepreneurs then works with him and brings the products to the market. So one of them is Echo Liu. She works with silver jewelry makers in Yunnan. They make great jewelry, but they don't sell them in Beijing. They don't know how to sell them. And they don't know really what a sophisticated customer wants. They just make what they used to make 50 years ago. So she trains them, and then she purchases their products and sells them in Beijing. And it's a fair trade model. So she pays them a good living wage, more than they would earn just doing without her. They improve their skills. They can stay in their villages. They don't have to migrate because they can't make a living out of it. And she basically has a business. She sells those jewelry and can make a profit to further train more people. So that's one of these, fair trade market linkage models.
How does the business model of social enterprises differ from that of NGOs?
It's very, very different. So an NGO depends on donors to constantly give them funding to provide services and programs to beneficiaries, while a social enterprise often either charges the beneficiaries or is self-sufficient through other means to deliver services. So when, for example, you're a non-profit, you constantly need to fundraise. When your funding stream for a program, for example, finishes, if the donor doesn't give you any money anymore, the program is done. It's hard to find someone else to give to an existing program. While a social enterprise, they can scale infinitely. They can basically sell more products or services, build their own capacity to do so, and then scale through that. So they're not dependent on someone else to give them funding.
And if social entrepreneurs face financial challenges, what should they do?
It depends a little bit why you're facing financial challenges. Is it because of your internal operation? Is it because maybe you have a product or a service the market doesn't need? Maybe you haven't reached the right market yet, so you need to do more market research, or the quality of your products is not good enough, so you need to look internally. But also, if you face financial challenges, it could be that your product is great, there's demand, but your financial challenge is in order to produce more products, you need more financial grants, loans, whatever. And that's where impact investors come in. And these are very few in China at the moment. So if you need external funding, that is a challenge for a lot of social enterprises.
If the social enterprises need to develop and they need more investment, and what should they do?
Well, first of all, you can scale your operations to sell more products and services. Then you also could look for impact investment, which is a new field globally and in China, where investors specifically look for social enterprises who have a social and environmental benefit as well as a financial return. And then you can access funding from them. That could be a grant, it could be a loan, it could be equity, and they'll help you to scale. But you have to have your model proven. You have to have the capacity, internal capacity to actually absorb this capital. But there are opportunities for that.
And what are your suggestions to those women social entrepreneurs to raise money?
First of all, you need to have all your systems in place, and you have to have your model proven. And that's still a challenge for many social entrepreneurs. They're very young, they're 2 to 3 years in operation, so they haven't really made their case yet for creating an impact. And then you have to have a very strong team who actually can manage growth. So you need to build the capacity of social entrepreneurs in that way. So we focus a lot on capacity building, giving them the skill set and the internal capacity in terms of, do their employees have roles and responsibilities? Do they have the skills to deliver? And once that is in place, then they can go for funding. But this needs to be built first.
Okay, thank you very much. And here it's tea time. Let's have another cup of tea and talk about the development of social entrepreneurship in China.
The most important thing that joined our two countries are trade and economic ties.
We should move towards finding win-win solutions.
Build a bridge through drinking some real nice Chinese tea.
Oh, I could kill for a nice cup of tea.
Hi, Andrea. Welcome back to Tea House.
Thank you, and thanks for the tea.
Do you like the tea?
It's good, yeah, thank you.
After working in social entrepreneurship in China for about 3.5 years, which Chinese entrepreneur or enterprise impressed you most?
There are many social enterprises that stand out, but 2 examples would be, one is Shokei, which was started by 2 Harvard graduates, and they work with yak farmers in rural China. They source the yak fiber, the hair, and they make beautiful scarves, baby clothes, and sell them to the international market. It's very impressive in terms of what growth and impact they have achieved. Another one is a social entrepreneur here in Beijing. Her name is Tian Xiaoming. She impresses me because of her perseverance. She found it very challenging to start a social enterprise, to run a social enterprise, and she still is incredibly passionate about it. So she works with autistic children and youth. She provides them with a boarding school. She provides them with an education. And she also runs an organic farm now in the south of Beijing to provide them with vocational training and to provide additional income for the school. So both of them are very different. One is like, because of their skill set, because of the growth they have achieved, and the other one is because of their personality and personal perseverance. Very impressive.
From a report written by British Council, they said that the concept of social entrepreneurship is first introduced to China in 2004. And what about the other parts of the world?
It depends a little bit on where you go. So if you look at Asia, social entrepreneurship, many countries are still at the beginning, like Korea, Japan. It's a new concept. Market awareness needs to be created. So it is like China at the nascent stage. If you look at countries like the UK or even the US, it's very advanced. They have a large number of social entrepreneurs, especially in the UK. You have special legal registration forms for social enterprises. So you don't necessarily have to be a non-profit or a business. There's special forms in the middle. So this kind of environment supports more growth of social entrepreneurs there.
What are the major areas enabling the growth of social enterprises in China?
The promotion of social entrepreneurship by the government. So a lot of social innovation parks are set up around China, in Ningxia and Shanghai. The government, especially in Shanghai, promotes a lot of social enterprises. So that's a very strong factor. A second one is market awareness. Especially food scandals like the baby food scandal, etc., create awareness among consumers that they demand safe products, that they might demand, for example, organic food. So that gave a lot of boom to the organic food industry here in Beijing and in Shanghai. But also, I think a lot of, especially young people, are passionate about social issues, are not necessarily defined by having only a corporate career. So they want to do something on their own. They're willing to strike out. So they also often start social enterprises.
A lack of investment and legal support are two major factors hindering the development of social enterprises in China. How can we collaborate and support the future development of social entrepreneurship in China?
So one thing is, the government support. The government can promote and it will make a huge difference. The second thing is, more organizations need to focus on supporting social enterprises. So not only non-profits, but really social enterprises. You have a couple of programs like Yao Chang, Narada Foundation, British Council, which provide capacity building to social entrepreneurs. But these are still very small numbers. So we need to scale those programs. But also every one of us, every individual can see, how you can contribute. You have skills, you have time, so you can go out and do pro bono volunteering. You can go and work with a social entrepreneur where you share the passion and help this person. So for example, if you have media experience, go work with someone who needs media skills and train those person, work with her or him, and that would make a huge difference already. So it is what, on a macro scale can be done, but also what each of us can do.
Okay, thank you very much for joining our program. I hope you enjoyed the tea.
Thank you, it was a pleasure.
I hope that with the efforts of people like you, more social changes can be made for a better world.
Thank you.
Please enjoy more tea.
Oh, thank you so much. And thanks for the tea. It was lovely. And I learned a lot about tea making. Thank you very much.
What are your hopes to Tea House program?
Oh, I hope that a lot of other young people who, do interesting things, I saw other speakers beforehand, actually enjoy your nice company. It was a pleasure to be with you and to learn about tea making and tea drinking. And I will check out more like this kind of nice set and get it at home as well, maybe. So thanks a lot for introducing that to me.
Please enjoy more tea.